Wrestlemania. If you're a WWE fan, usually the excitement comes naturally when it's WrestleMania season. The match card is the most important thing in order for the WrestleMania to be good. Throughout the years, we had great WrestleMania matches, but also terrible matches. And in this list, we're going to take a look at some of those horrible matches. So here's the 10 worst WrestleMania matches in WWE history. Number 10. Goldberg vs. Brock Lesnar WrestleMania 20. This could have been a classic. Everything was good. They had an incredible build to the WrestleMania match, but the fan had no desire in watching them compete. We're talking about Brock Lesnar vs. Goldberg. The reason for that is, through the internet, the fan has learned that Goldberg and Brock would be leaving WWE following WrestleMania, and this was their last match in the company. This led to the fan booing them and chants "You sold out" to both men throughout the match. Stone Cold was the special guest referee, and after the match, after Goldberg delivered the jackhammer to Brock and picked up the victory, Stone Cold gave both of them a stunner, which made the fan happy. Number 9. Akam vs. The Big Show WrestleMania 21 Sumo match. The problem with this match is that it was an embarrassment for wrestling fans to watch. It was a match where a WWE superstar is embarrassed by an athlete from another sport. Big Show was battling sumo champion Akam in a sumo match. They removed the ropes, and the winner would be the man who forced his opponent out of the ring. The match lasted about 1 minute and was defeated easily by Akam. Watching this match, you feel terrible for the Big Show. You feel bad for him. Number 8. WrestleMania 25 Randy Orton vs. Triple H. This match had one of the best builds in WWE history. Their build to their WrestleMania match was wonderful. Their feud was one of the greatest feuds in WWE history. Both men pulled out all the stops to show off exactly how much they hated each other. Orton attacked Stephanie McMahon while a handcuffed Triple H watched, and at the same time kissed Stephanie McMahon. But then Triple H broke into Orton's home and threw him through a picture window. Vince and Shane McMahon also got involved in defense of their family. But despite all the hype and all the work that went into building a match based on two guys who absolutely hated each other, the match itself was just boring. Triple H and Randy Orton went out there and wrestled a standout match that could have easily been the main event of Monday Night Raw or a typical Monday Night Raw match. There was no passion, no heat, and no intensity, and it wasn't helped by the fact that Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker had toned the house down earlier in the evening, which gave too much pressure on the Orton vs. Triple H match. Number 7. The Rock vs. John Cena WrestleMania 29. It's not that The Rock and Cena aren't headliner worthy or that they are not two of the biggest draws on the WrestleMania card. Whether you like them or not, you can't say that about either Cena or Rock. But they should have not main event WrestleMania. The match was not exactly terrible. It was a good match, but we already got a perfect feud the previous year where The Rock won the match. But to have a rematch in the main event of WrestleMania 2 years in a row just to make Cena win once and changing the tagline once in a lifetime to twice in a lifetime was ridiculous for. The difference is their match at WrestleMania 28, there was a big buzz. It was The Rock's first match in 8 years, but this time on the road to WrestleMania 29, CM Punk dropped the title to Rock and Cena wins the Royal Rumble, and it was a little unfair to CM Punk, and also one of the reasons why Punk got upset with the WWE, which led to him getting released by the company. Even though the match was good, it didn't deserve the main event spot because we all knew that Cena was going to win. But you know, based on the match card, there was no match that was worthy of main eventing. But there was no big buzz or interest around the match like the previous year. So it's not one of the worst matches in WWE history. It's just, it didn't deserve the main event spot. There could have been another match who, you know, could have deserved that main event spot. Number 6. The Undertaker vs. the Big Boss Man Hell in a Cell. First of all, there was no reason for this match to be inside the Hell in a Cell. No personal feud. The story was Taker Ministry of Darkness against the corporation, of which Bossman just happens to be a part of. It would have made more sense to put Taker against one of the top guys in the corporation, such as Triple H or The Rock, but no, he got the Bossman. It was truly unworthy of the Cell, and having the Ministry come down and hang Bossman from the Cell at the end of the match was disturbing and stupid. More stupid than Braun and Shane McMahon feud. Number 5. Michael Cole vs. Jerry the King Lawler, WrestleMania 27. Where do I begin? I mean, the match was entertaining, that's it. It was not a good match. Stone Cold was the special guest referee, which made it even more entertaining. Their feud was personal and intense, but their match was not really that good. I mean, both of them tried to put on the best show possible, and Cole lost 2 teeth in the same day. At the end of the match, Jerry the King Lawler tapped out Cole and picked up the victory. When Michael got in the back, Vince told him that this was the worst match he's seen in 16 years. I don't agree with Vince that it was the worst match ever, because there was match that was much worse. but it was not a worthy WrestleMania match. But something I can tell you is that Stone Cold had a great time. Before, Triple H vs The Ultimate Warrior WrestleMania. Yes, some of you may not know Triple H once battled The Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania. First of all, The Ultimate Warrior not selling the pedigree, which was a devastating maneuver even early in Triple H's WWF career, was completely unbelievable. And Hunter to lose in less than 2 minutes against Warrior was a big mistake. The outcome of the match turned out to be a big mistake. Triple H went on to be a future WWE champion, while the Warrior was never seen again until later in 2014 when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So this match can be considered as one of the worst matches in WWE history. The Undertaker vs Giant Gonzalez, number 3. Okay, so this one is simple. Giant Gonzalez can't wrestle. His wrestling ability is terrible, and Taker was not able to carry Gonzalez to a good match. The match ended in disqualification, and this is a match where I'm sure Taker would want to forget. But 2. The Miz vs John Cena WrestleMania 25. I mean, The Miz vs John Cena for a main event of WrestleMania? This is not even a Raw main event. Really, so the match was not worth a WrestleMania main event. But as much as people don't like The Miz, he really did deserve his run as WWE Champion. He worked really hard and got his character really over. However, this match was a way to build the WrestleMania main event the following year, which was The Rock vs John Cena. That WrestleMania was more about Rock vs Cena. Thus, Miz and Cena went out there and had a normal match which could have happened on Raw or SmackDown. It was not a WrestleMania match. It ended when both men were counted out after a big spot involving the barricade. In addition to it being a bad finish, Miz suffered a concussion, but The Rock came out and restarted the match, then hit Cena with a rock bottom to give The Miz the victory. It made absolutely no sense and made the WWE Champion look terrible. So this match can really be considered as one of the worst matches in WrestleMania history. Number 1. Bret Hart vs Vince McMahon. Perhaps the worst thing WWE did was to allow Vince vs Bret Hart to take place. Now, I understand the history and feud here, which was great, but both men were too old. They could have found another way. Having other people fight for them was one way, but instead we got Bret Hart vs Vince McMahon. Bret was 52 and Vince was 64 years old, so both of the men couldn't wrestle. The match was horrible, and after that match, nobody had interest of seeing Bret Hart ever again. Basically, the match should have never happened. The match was really slow, and it ended with Vince tapping out to the sharpshooter. It was the worst match in WrestleMania history, but even that, both men deserve respect because despite their age, they tried to put on a show. Even they failed at having a decent match, they tried at their age, so both of them deserve our respect. Now, this list is more about the 10 WrestleMania matches that people thought was going to be great, but ended being the worst. It's not exactly the worst WrestleMania match in WWE history. You may agree or disagree with my list, but here it is. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more content, to leave a like, and let me know in the comments down below what do you think of the video. And until next time, thanks for watching.